this is the second time you came out to look at the spillway, the
Yes.
Bonnet Carre Spillway?
Yes, ma'am.
What's the difference between the first and the second day today?
The water volume seems to be up, and the actual depth in the spillway, there's not as much drop-off coming out of the gates of the structure to down to the water level in the spillway. So it looks like the water has kind of stabilized on the backside of the structure.
What is generally in this little valley that we see that is the spillway?
You have a lot of the silt that gets deposited when the structure gets open. You have a roadway that will come across the actual ground level through the spillway to the east to west. You also have a railroad bridge that crosses the spillway, US 61, it's the old highway, and then further towards the lake you have Interstate 10.
And then you have going over into Pontchartrain.
Yes, ma'am, Lake Pontchartrain.
Do you, you're from down here, and I'm sure you've seen Mississippi over your entire lifetime.
Yes,
What do you feel about the?
Well, this is probably as high as I've seen it in my lifetime, and I'm just very thankful for the engineers that have figured out this wonderful system for helping do flood control. It's very, very important.
Where is the river generally? I mean, we're walking along and it seems rather high, but we don't know where the normal kind of baseline is. How high, how many feet do you think it is above its normal flow?
Now that, I'm not quite sure, but to give you a perspective, if you go from the structure back out towards the river, you probably have a couple hundred yards or more between the structure and to the normal Mississippi River bank during low, regular, say further into the summer.
What, they're opening up probably as we speak the Morganza Spillway.
Yes, ma'am.
And, there's been some discussion as to where you're going to sacrifice people's homes that live in that area. And I've spoken with professors at Loyola and LSU that said, well, that's what it was built for. And it's built to relieve the pressure. I've heard there is some concern about the height and flow of the river coming in down in New Orleans. And what is your feeling on that? Do you feel a little nervous?
Unfortunately, the people that built there kind of knew and were playing, dice with their lives and stuff. That if that river breaks, like the levees did during the Katrina, the whole city would be just completely wiped out. So they have to do what they're doing, unfortunately. And this area is also used as a recreation spot for motocross and people flying little airplanes, and the crawfish after this dries up is going to be wonderful out here. So
yes.
There are a few pluses, unfortunately a few pluses after they finish doing this.
I spoke with a professor at Loyola last week, and he said that there is an issue, during Katrina, they had a barge that broke its moorings and hit one of the levees, the levee, I believe, that goes into the Ninth Quarter.
It's the Industrial Canal, yes.
And he voiced concern about that, again, right now. He said when you've got the river up this high, it's hard to, any type of accident can happen and you really can't prepare for it. Have there been alerts and warnings in New Orleans for people to pay special attention, take extra caution? Have you heard anything?
To the general public, it's, and I know Mayor Landress has been on the news and just urged the citizens, to conduct due diligence relative to, have maybe a few items together should you need to leave. But
no panic.
But no panic. There's been no evacuation orders or anything, and feel very comfortable with the levee protection system. To your point, though, about the barge traffic and boat traffic, when the river gets this high, it creates some steering challenges and control challenges with like the the barge tows that are operating in the river, so they'll curtail activities like that to a point. And if the river at the Carrollton gauge reaches a certain threshold, I'm not sure which height that is, but they will actually shut down river traffic, which would then greatly impact commerce on the river here in New Orleans, and even upriver with the commerce trying to come downriver and out the port of New Orleans.
So you say in New Orleans, in general, there's not a sense of panic, or there's not a lot of fear?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
People feeling comfortable with the levees that have been rebuilt and...
Yes, ma'am.